So Lexar have sent me two things to try out. What we got here is a new ES5 magnetic SSD for smartphone video creators and for action cameras and devices like the Pocket 3 or Insta360, 360 cameras. You're going to need a microSD. So they sent me their Silver Plus microSD card. The thing about storage is it's kind of a boring thing in a way, but it's quite an essential thing if you don't want to get home and find that your videos are corrupted, you know, it's not recording at the correct frame rates, you've got drop frames issues, you've got, you know, corrupted files that when you try to open them, they're going to open. And there's all kinds of issues that you can get if you don't get yourself a good, reliable memory card or SSD. With the most recent smartphones, a need for lots of storage has gone a bit crazy recently. If you're recording ProRes 4K on your iPhone or 8K on your Samsung or other Android, you're really going to be using up all the gigabytes in your internal storage unless you've bought one of these massive like 1 terabyte phones. So rather than spend like hundreds on a 1 terabyte memory phone, get yourself some kind of external storage like this Lexar ES5 SSD. It's just so much more convenient. You can record directly onto the drive, plug it into your computer, start even editing from the drive. You don't even need to take it off. Now, if you're shooting with a DJI Pocket 3, you're going to find that it shoots 10-bit color and you can't choose 8-bit color anymore. And so the Pocket 3 does create big files. So again, you need to get yourself a good solid micro SD card, and you're going to need a V30 card to make sure that it's fast enough to record this 4K 10-bit video. And if you have the 128 gigabyte iPhone, you can't even record 4K ProRes. It's not going to let you. So then you're going to have to add an external drive like this ES5 SSD. That's if you want to shoot 4K ProRes video. And to be honest, if you want to shoot ProRes, I don't see any reason to shoot 1080p. It's kind of defeating the purpose of it, isn't it?
The Lexar ES5 magnetic SSD is designed to stick to the back of your iPhone using MagSafe, and it can handle ProRes recording directly to the drive. For non-MagSafe phones, there's a magnetic ring, and you can attach that to your phone, and then you can attach the SSD to the ring. And as well, you can use this ring to attach the SSD to the lid of your laptop. Now, when you attach the drive to the back of your iPhone, make sure that it's correctly aligned with the MagSafe, because if it is slightly out, it's not going to hold as well. And you can actually feel it click into place here. So the drive is covered in a rubber case for extra protection, and it's drop proof from up to 3 meters, which is, you know, about 10 feet. One nice little idea is that they've attached the USB-C cable to the side, so you're not going to lose it. But if you do want to remove it, you can do that pretty easily. And in the box, you also get a USB to USB-C adapter.
The ES5 comes in 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte versions. The speed of the drive is fast, 2000 megabytes per second read and write. And that's pretty much in line with the fastest mainstream portable SSDs using USB 3.2 Gen 2x2. And that's going to give you up to 20 gigabits per second.
This means that the Lexar ES5 is going to deliver top-tier performance for 4K, ProRes or 8K video. And you're going to get rapid file transfers, and you're going to be able to record directly to the drive from your phone.
So that's more than enough for any video format that your smartphone can throw at it. Now bear in mind that you do need the USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 to get those full speeds.
Most laptops and computers don't have that yet, so you might not see the full performance when transferring files. As well, no current smartphones, and that includes the latest iPhones and Android flagships, support USB 3.2 Gen 2x2, which gives you the 20 gigabits per second speeds. Most high-end smartphones that have USB-C ports only support up to USB 3.2 Gen 2, which gives you 10 gigabits per second, and some are actually still limited to USB 3.1 Gen 1, 5 gigabits per second, or even lower than that, which is the USB 2 for data transfer.
But with the ES5, you're going to be future-proof. and ready to take advantage of those 20 gigabits per second transfer speeds.
So with this, you can shoot directly to the SSD, and that means that you're not going to be filling up your phone's internal storage. And if you've got a 128 gigabyte iPhone 15 or 16 Pro, you're going to be restricted to 1080p when it comes to recording ProRes video to your internal memory. As well, even the iPhones with bigger storage are limited to 30 frames per second 4K ProRes. Using an SSD like this one unlocks proper 4K ProRes recording up to 120 frames per second. Now, Lexar actually provide an app which you can use for auto backup from your device. And what this does is automatically back up your photos and videos when you connect the drive. So you're not going to need to pay for cloud subscriptions, no monthly fees. You can just store everything on this local storage that you are in control of. Once you connect your Lexar SSD to your phone and open the app, you can set it to automatically back up all your photos and videos. So you just need to do a one-time setup, and from then on, every time you connect the drive, the app is going to back up new files automatically. So rather than recording directly to the drive, you can capture photos and videos to your internal storage, and then as soon as you plug it in, it's going to start backing up those files onto the drive. And as well, you can use it for manual backup, or you can set it to auto backup just photos and not videos, or just videos and not photos. So okay, let's talk about why this Lexar ES5 is actually built for real-world creators. So I'm talking about people like us who are out shooting and not just sitting at a desk. Because if you're doing run and gun shooting, travel vlogs, or you're just, filming outside, you want your gear to be able to withstand a few knocks. So that's where this thing stands out, because the ES5 is drop resistant, it's also water resistant, and it's dust resistant. It's got an IP65 rating, which means it can handle dust, splashes, and even the odd rain shower if you get caught out. The drive itself weighs 49 grams, and it can operate in temperatures from 0 degrees centigrade all the way up to 50 degrees centigrade, which is equivalent to 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, so let's talk about microSD cards, because in all honesty, buying a cheap unreliable one is really just asking for trouble. First off, a bad microSD card can ruin your footage or your photos. So you might get random errors or files that won't open, and you might just lose everything that you've shot. Maybe this has already happened to you. You've come back from a shoot and you find that all your footage is corrupted or missing. And this isn't just frustrating, but it can be a complete disaster for your work, and your memories. The thing about cheap microSD cards is that they can often have slow read and write speeds. So this might mean that your camera is just going to stop recording. Or you could get drop frames in your video. Or if you're trying to record 4K video, your camera can just kind of give up. They can wear out quicker, especially if you're shooting a lot of high bit rate, high resolution video, maybe with your action cameras or a drone or something. And you should remember that there's a lot of fake microSD cards out there, with fake labels, and they are pretty terrible for reliability.
So make sure that you go to the description of this video if you want to be sure that you're not getting a fake microSD card, and click the link that I've provided, and you're definitely going to get the authentic one there. So you don't want to be thinking that you're getting 128 gigabytes, but actually it's really just a 16 gigabyte card with a hacked label, and it fails as soon as you fill it up,
So if you get a reliable microSD card, it means that your data is pretty safe. It's going to keep up with your camera, you're not going to get drop frames, and you're not going to have to worry about it dying after a couple of weeks. Especially for action cams and 360 cams, where you're often shooting in kind of tough conditions, you're going to need a card that can handle drops, water, temperature swings, and constant writing.
If your card fails mid-shoot, you could lose everything. The Lexar Professional Silver Plus microSD is built for this kind of abuse, and it's been tested for over 10,000 plug-unplug cycles, and it has 7 levels of protection. We've got water, temperature, wear, magnet, shock, drop, X-ray, and impact proof. And that means that it can survive being dropped, dunked, or exposed to export X-rays. Basically it can survive real life. If you've got a DJI Pocket 3 or a 360 cam or an action cam, then the Lexar Silver Plus microSD is a really great choice. And these have been tested extensively by Lexar for compatibility with action cameras and drones, including DJI models, and it meets all the speed and reliability requirements for 4K video. You know, it's built exactly for these types of demanding workflows. Lexar actually uses its own chip technology with a 400 MHz controller and advanced error correction (LDPC), so you are getting faster, more stable performance and a longer lifespan compared to generic cards. So you're going to be looking at up to 205 megabytes per second read and 105 megabytes per second write speeds, which is way above what most UHS cards offer. It's V30 rated, so you can shoot 4K 60 frames per second video, and you're not going to have to worry about drop frames or corrupted files. Available storage capacities range from 64 gigabytes all the way up to 1 terabyte. Plus, you get lifetime access to Lexar's recovery tool, and that's going to help users deal with unexpected loss, deletion, or the damage of files. And Lexar is also a member of the SD Association, which helps to set standards for the whole industry. So, you know that they're not just slapping their name on some random card here. So, my recommendation is that you don't risk your footage or your reputation on a sketchy microSD card. Go with something proven like Lexar so that you can focus on creating and not worrying about your storage.
So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful and informative. Don't forget, you can join us on Patreon if you really want to go to a pro level with your smartphone or with your action cameras. And we've even got for Insta360 a full course for the Insta360 Studio software, which can be a little bit complicated. Apart from that, you can head over to Amazon and you'll find my book there, Smartphone Videography Beginner to Advanced. And I now have the additional smartphone buyer's guide if you're looking to buy a smartphone specifically for recording video. And that's it for me. See you in the next one.